The air inside the Grand Hall of Windsor Castle was thick with anticipation. Royal engagements were usually a carefully choreographed spectacle, each bow, smile, and wave planned to perfection. Yet, on this fateful day, something truly unexpected was about to unfold, leaving fans and courtiers alike stunned beyond belief. A day of royal duties begins. The morning sun filtered through the stained glass windows of the castle, casting a golden hue upon the historic stone walls. King Edward, known for his measured composure, was scheduled to meet with foreign dignitaries alongside his beloved wife, Queen Catherine. The royal couple had long been admired for their unity, grace, and unwavering dedication to their people. The event was a grand affair. Foreign envoys, ambassadors, and aristocrats from across the world had gathered to discuss alliances and trade relations. Cameras flashed as reporters eagerly documented the momentous occasion. The king, ever the symbol of stability, walked confidently through the hall, greeting guests with a practiced smile. At his side, Catherine, in an elegant sapphire gown, mirrored his poise. But what happened next would send ripples through the entire monarchy. Catherine's unforeseen act. As the king was engaged in a formal discussion with the prime minister of another nation, Queen Catherine suddenly stepped forward. At first, it seemed like a simple gesture. Perhaps she meant to whisper something to her husband or greet a nearby diplomat. But then, before anyone could process what was happening, Catherine dropped to one knee. "Subscribe the channel to get such videos." Gasps filled the hall. The sound of cameras clicking ceased for a brief moment, replaced by hushed whispers of disbelief. The royal family prided itself on tradition. Strict codes of conduct dictated every movement. Kneeling was not something a reigning queen did, certainly not in a public setting. The king's usually steady hands clenched. His face, typically a portrait of regal control, betrayed a flicker of shock. His eyes darted to Catherine, then to the assembled guests, who were staring in stunned silence. "Catherine," he muttered under his breath, his voice tight with disbelief. But she did not waver. A statement of defiance or devotion? The entire world watched, their eyes glued to their television screens, trying to decipher the meaning behind the Queen's bold action. Some speculated it was an act of rebellion, a sign that Catherine was breaking free from the suffocating constraints of the royal institution. Others whispered that it was a deeply personal moment of devotion, something no one, not even the king himself, had anticipated. For centuries, kneeling had symbolized submission or deference, often reserved for subjects paying homage to their sovereign. But here was Queen Catherine, the monarch's equal in status, kneeling before her husband in an act that defied royal convention. The king, still caught in a moment of disbelief, hesitated before reacting. Should he extend his hand to help her up? Should he speak? Silence stretched between them like a taut wire. Catherine finally lifted her gaze to meet his, her eyes unwavering. Then, in a voice clear and steady, she spoke. "I kneel not in submission, but in love and unity." Her words rang through the grand hall, breaking the silence. A murmur spread through the crowd, cameras flashing once again as reporters scrambled to capture this historic moment. "Please subscribe to my YouTube channel." The king's response. For a fleeting second, it seemed as if King Edward himself was unsure of what to do. His entire life had been dictated by protocol, by the rigid expectations of monarchy. This was a deviation unlike any other. And yet, as he looked into Catherine's eyes, something within him shifted. Slowly, and to the astonishment of everyone present, he knelt too. The hall erupted into a cacophony of gasps, applause, and frenzied whispers. The world had never seen such a moment. Two reigning monarchs, kneeling together, not as rulers and subjects, but as equals. The king took Catherine's hands in his and squeezed them gently. "Then let it be love and unity," he murmured, a rare smile tugging at his lips. The aftermath, a moment that changed the monarchy. News of the event spread like wildfire. Social media exploded with debates. Was this a turning point for the monarchy? Some traditionalists were outraged, calling it a disgrace to royal decorum, while others hailed it as a modernization of an ancient institution. Political analysts and royal historians scrambled to interpret the meaning behind Catherine's gesture. Was it a symbolic shift toward a more equal partnership within the monarchy? Or was there something deeper at play, an underlying message to the world about the changing tides of leadership? Regardless of opinions, one fact remained undeniable. Catherine's unexpected move had shaken the very foundation of the royal family. What this means for the future of the crown. The monarchy had always thrived on predictability. But Catherine had introduced something new: authenticity. In that single moment, she had shown the world that even the most rigid traditions could bend in the name of love, unity, and progress. For King Edward, the moment had tested his very understanding of royal duty. But as he knelt beside his wife, he had realized something profound. True strength was not in standing alone, but in standing together. The world would never forget this day, and neither would the king. Fans couldn't believe their eyes, but now they couldn't look away. Subscribe the channel to get such videos.